What's going on, A pluses nerd mixers? It is your boy Indy Uchiha, man, and I'm here with the review for The Flash, episodes 10 and 11, Family Matters Part 1 and 2. Um, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. The Flash has always had its up and downs. I sometimes feel like the seasons are maybe too long, and that's the reason why sometimes it feels like the Flash is kind of like running in place when it comes to telling some of these stories, especially when it feels like episode 10 should have only been about 20 minutes long, especially when Psych's backstory was not as interesting as we thought it would be. I feel like Forza is actually the backstory they should have went into on the mythology and everything behind that character, because and the particular person who the power went into to start off with, because that to me was just the more interesting character, and Dion as well. Going into Dion's backstory with the football and everything he had going on, striving with school and everything, that just seemed like those two, they seem like just shows the most boring out of the three forces that came um to give us a backstory, and it really gave no backstory at all on Forza. This really episode really deals with Psych uh going to get revenge on people that he knew that had wronged him or that were trying to hold him back, because he was adopted by people with money who decided to leave him. But when they started to go under, lose money, they just left him on his own. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't even their son anymore. So that's interesting why he's after revenge. I've seen a lot of people relating this to Batman, like he's Batman without the, what did they say? Without the, like, the sympathetic storyline. I don't know, because I don't know if Batman's been broke at times, but I don't know if he was broke. But they've had really disappointing storytelling this season so far. But the one thing that y'all get from me that y'all normally don't get is that these two episodes, to me, Iris, Iris did her thing. Iris definitely did her thing. Did her thing. But before we get more into that, man, I want to tell you about this Patreon we got. Show your support. Join the Patreon. Become a patron at A Plus Opinions. Patreon.com/A Plus Opinions. We post all the audio from the different hero report reviews we do. We post A Plus more phenomenal stuff up there. We post character breakdowns, different conversations and stuff exclusively for our patrons. It also will get you access to the Discord where we hold conversations, talk about stuff over there too. It's like the community for nerds. It's like the nerd hub, Nerdtopia, if I might say. We got three different tiers: $1, $5, and $10. Just go ahead and check it out. Even if you don't want to join, hit the link. You know what I'm saying? Check out the Patreon link. It'll be in the description below. Check it out just to see if it might be something that you might like there. This episode is interesting in its own. Episode 10, Family Matters Part 1. Just because I don't feel like Psych had enough appearances or built up enough for what it was supposed to do. He had the first original appearance, which was really, really dope. And then it just seemed like I really felt like Forza and Dion actually had the better compelling stories with the way that they appeared and the backstory they had, especially with the Dion story when Cisco and Old Boy got trapped in the past, was pretty interesting to me. And I really feel like they could have got more on what was going on with him. Nothing visually interesting happens in the Psych thing, other than when he powers up, he gets purple tentacles that come out. It's just that part of the story just seemed to drag a lot for me and really didn't give me much. It's really just Grant Gustin's performance seeming just like having to do everything he possibly can, you know what I'm saying, and trying to help Forza get control of what she has going on. And then there's like a really, really, really disappointing, like visual wise battle with Forza and Psych. It seems to be moving really slow, nothing happens, and it just ends after Flash uses his talk no jutsu. You know what I'm saying? Like it really got into nothing. But the real interesting thing in this story is you find out Kramer's not done like in Central City. She already got Frost put away, one of the things she wanted to do, but she's like hell bent on getting rid of all metahumans, all of them. Whether they're good, they're bad. She just wants nothing to do with the metahumans, right? But the way that she's going about things and how she's handling them, hey, it makes Pops quit the force. That's right. It makes Pops quit the force. Mr. West, Captain West, is no longer a police officer. But even that, with the way they presented it, really felt out of place in what was going on. And I really don't know what I was digging it. Now, when we got to episode 11, it tended to pick up a little bit more. And this was really, really, really carried by a lot of the Nora Barry conversations and scenes that they had together. And Barry just being desperate. Like, when have you ever seen the Flash out of breath? Like literally, like Barry, Grant Gustin's performance when he played Barry in this episode, it made us really feel like you could feel his desperation because the Flash was constantly always out of breath, and that no matter what he was doing, when he was trying to find Dion, when he's trying to get the other forces to safety, and how all that was going to go, he carried this episode. To be honest with you, him, Iris, and Norris were the three things that kept this episode moving forward. And the Captain West stuff, even though I really wanted him to stand out, it just seemed out of place. Him dealing with wanting to help but feeling like he couldn't, feeling powerless because he wasn't a police officer anymore, just felt out of place in this particular moment. Another thing that really felt out of place and annoyed the hell out of me was Chillbane and Frost. They felt like they needed to fill time, and they decided to just take something from that they weren't going to use in the episode and put it back into the episode with the fight for them. Because what had happened was lightning struck, a whole bunch of convicts escaped lockup. Frost left out to help lock them back up, and she ended up getting out on probation because she helped put people back in jail, and then had the Flash speak up for her, which, to me, her coming back this early in the season and not being gone at least till season 8 just kind of makes the whole thing of her turning herself in and getting life in prison, just it made that whole episode mean nothing. And it was just too quick of a turnaround with me for that. But whatever, man. The basis of this story really was 3 versus 3 million. It was, do you want to save the 3 forces that you created, who's for some godly reason all these 4 forces are your children? It's you and Iris children. That is just stupid to me. But 3 versus 3 million, save them 3 or save 3 million people. So that's what Barry is dealing with. You could see the desperation. Like I said, you see he's constantly out of breath. I mean, it's just a great visual given to us by the incredible acting in this episode by Grant Gustin. To me, is one of his most well acted episodes in the series to date. The way he handled that, you know what I'm saying? But he never seems like he does too much to where he can't go do more. So that's really good. He struggles using his talk no jutsu on Dion. He struggles using his talk no jutsu on Psych and Forza. Psych ends up developing a new power where now he can create illusions. Because remember when I didn't even talk about it, but last episode when Dion and Nora show up and they end up taking out the entirety of Team Flash with the 2 forces and then disappear, and then come to find out it's actually illusion that my man Psych is using. So he has new abilities, people, new abilities. And like I said, the greatest scenes in here, hands down, are between Barry and the Speed Force. Barry gets the proper reason on why the forces need to die, because their powers are like colliding. They might even know they're doing it, but they're literally tearing everything apart with this storm that they thought that the Speed Force was making. It was actually the other forces creating there. So that creates the problem. What is the right thing to do? To take them out, or to take Nora, the new Speed Force, out, or to like he has a problem that he can't solve, and it's intriguing to me because it's a problem that Chester and Cisco are trying to help them solve, and like for the first time, nobody can solve this problem. Like that, like there's no scientific way to get out of the problem. But you have to get all the forces together, and basically what happens is he gets them together. Him and Iris talk to him, and they become one big happy family. And then they're plopped down in like Barry's old home and stuff to try to be a family, to be brothers and sisters and stuff like that with each other. Yeah, the talk no jutsu worked. I don't know, man. I don't know. The most compelling thing to me out of this episode was Cisco getting offered a job but not wanting to tell anybody that he's leaving, which leads us to what's going to be Cisco's last episode, which will possibly this next episode coming up, episode 12, which is going to be really interesting to me because I really feel like it's not going to be a filler episode, but it's going to be one of the episodes where you see how important Cisco is to this series and to this team. So I'm going to be really interested in seeing how all that goes down and how that happens, because I want to see it, man. I really, really want to see it. I think it's going to be super dope in seeing what happens, and I can't wait to see that. These episodes are cool, but I am kind of glad that all that is over with and that we can get to this thing with Cisco leaving and actually move on. But with everything that happened through these past 2 weeks with Flash, we actually got some news popped up, and this was very, very interesting. The Flash season 8 to begin with 5 crossover type episodes featuring Arrow heroes. Now we know that when it comes to the Flash in this season, we really didn't have our crossover episodes. The crossover episodes that we are going to have deal with Diggle coming and going and doing different things. That's going to be what our crossover is this season. So this article states is the CW staging multiple Arrowverse team ups this fall. On Tuesday, network chairman and CEO Mark Pedowitz announced that season 8 of The Flash will begin with 5 special event episodes featuring heroes from across the Arrowverse or the CW verse, and he insisted on calling it, because he wants that to be the CW verse so bad. But we all know no matter what happens, it's the Arrowverse. The idea for The Flash is that Eric Wallace and Greg Berlanti have come together, and we're talking about other superheroes from CW verse that will come together for in each individual episodes. Pedowitz told reporters during a press conference it would not quite be a crossover. It will have a crossover type feel with the introduction of all these characters. Pedowitz didn't say which actors would visit The Flash in November. I'll let you have those conversations with Eric Wallace, Pedowitz told EW on the call. We do know that a couple of fillers were put out to actors, but we have no definites yet. One of these fillers, which I do believe Adam covered this, is likely regarding Black Lightning star Cress Williams, who just wrapped up his 4-season run on the topical superhero show. In a recent interview with EW, Williams confirmed that The Flash has reached out to gauge his interest in guest starring in season 8. We're just in the talks phase, said Williams, who just moved back to Los Angeles, making visiting Vancouver for a guest stint much easier logistically. I really enjoyed the crossover last year. Specifically, I think me and Grant Gustin were just like very like-minded in how we approach work, and we had a really great conversations. One of my favorite scenes of doing this character was a scene between me and him in the library on the Wave Rider and Crisis on Infinite Earths. So the thought of being able to go back and do an episode here or an episode there, oh yeah, no, I'm down for that. The CW had to scrap its annual Arrowverse crossover this year because the COVID-19 pandemic made it virtually impossible to write and schedule a multi-episode event spanning multiple shows and featuring multiple actors. Instead of the usual crossover fun, Arrow alum Mr. Amazing David Ramsey is guest starring as John Diggle on several of the shows, including Batwoman, Superman, Lois, The Flash, and Supergirl. Riverdale, I'm guessing, is going to have a similar 5 event episode crossover or whatever they're going to do. That's going to be interesting to see how they do that, because there's a lot of universe stuff that ties in when it comes to that particular show as well. But with all that said, and with everything that's going on, what we saw so far this season, does it feel like the Flash will end in season 8? And that's one of the reasons why they're having this big hurrah, you know what I'm saying, to start the season 8 season. Or are they seeing what they can do as far as with the ratings to see if they want to do another season or will this end? Because I honestly think I'd be cool with the Flash itself ending next season. I don't want to see it go, but if they're running out of story to tell, I don't want them to try to stretch stuff out in order to do it. What do you guys think? Are you happy about how season 8 is going to start? Because that does make me look forward more into what's happening in season 8, especially with the lackluster start to the season 7. But from what I believe, the back half of the season 7 is going to be amazing, because that's normally what happens when it comes to the Flash. How did you guys feel about these last 2 episodes? How do you feel about this news we just got from Entertainment Weekly? And are you guys looking forward to seeing more characters? Who do you want to see? Do you want to see, even though Supergirl come back, Stargirl? Would you like to see Stephen Amell pop up? Do you want to see Cress Williams? Do you want to see old Flash characters come back and guest star? You let me know in the comments below, or come over to the Discord by being a member on the Patreon. Let's have a conversation there on our top 5, you know what I'm saying, favorite characters to show up next season of The Flash. All right. Until then, guys, as always, like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell so you know every time we got new stuff popping up. Keep it A+. This has been a Nerd Mix. Indie out.